morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Wednesday, May 13th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by Dwayne Long. Dwayne, we've been touting the virtues of the 2015 Ohio State football team because not only are they the defending national champions, but they are bringing back a ton of starters. They are locked and loaded, it seems, at every position. There doesn't seem to be any weaknesses on this team. In fact, you could easily make the argument, Dwayne, that there are zero glaring weaknesses. But even if it's minor, let's talk about what concerns we have for the Buckeyes this fall. I'll let you go first, and then I'll follow with my thoughts. Fire away, Dwayne. What's a concern or concerns you have about the Buckeyes this fall?
Well, I think it's the one that we've been kicking around on the message boards for months now, and that is the tackle that pairs with Adolphus Washington. I don't know who steps in there. I thought it was a convenient piece of coach speak that they said Steve Schutt was coming around privately. Privately, people are like, you got to be kidding me. You know, people that have attended practice, this guy's not standing out. He's just the best of what's left. That's my biggest concern is somebody is going to see that double team Adolphus Washington and you can single this guy and run right at Ohio State. That's my biggest concern. Now, you don't have a lot of teams that do that anymore in college football. But somebody might get the bright idea that, we can be run on right up the gut, and it's a concern. Somebody's got to step up, whether it's Schutt or Munger or Hill or whoever. Maybe one of the freshmen. Maybe we need to rotate some guys, get Boza down inside more, because we definitely got ends to spare. So I don't know. I guess Raekwon McMillan is going to show what he's made of this year. He's going to have to make a lot of tackles based on what I've seen from Schutt thus far, and the lack of enthusiasm I'm getting from contacts privately about this guy. So that's my biggest concern, and it's my really only concern. I mean, you have to look at this team and say, before the national championship, you had to say we were a year away. We thought next year was our year. This coming season was our year. So you got to be really excited about what this team can accomplish, but we got to fix the tackle situation. Other than that, it's going to be hard to beat this Buckeye team.
Yeah, you stole my thunder. That's exactly what I had written down. It's the one technique defensive tackle spot. Tommy Schutt's penciled in as the starter there. I just don't know if he's a guy that can take on double teams and help jam things up in the middle like a good one tech is supposed to do. And I know people say, well, Ohio State got by last year with a couple of three techs playing the defensive tackle spot because Adolphus Washington, Mike Bennett, neither one of those guys is a true one tech, but those guys were so good they could get away with it. Future NFL players. One's a current NFL player. Adolphus is a future NFL player. I don't think Tommy Schutt is that type of guy. He's lost weight. He's down to about 290. So he's going to be quicker, but is he going to be stout enough to take on those double teams, to really jam things up in the middle? I'm skeptical. And you mentioned Michael Hill. This guy's entering his third year in the program. He still wasn't able to get past Tommy Schutt in the spring, and I didn't hear the coaches say that many good things about Michael Hill. Donovan Munger, they seem to be stuck on wanting him to play that three technique behind Adolphus Washington. I didn't hear them talk about at all that he's going to get some reps at the one tech. Maybe they'll change their mind there. And you make a good point. I think on passing downs, they're going to move guys around. Joey Bosa's going to move inside, get some more pass rushers on the field. But it's that first and second down when they're playing against power teams. Now, this team is loaded when we're nitpicking like this, but that would be my main concern is Tommy Schutt. I'm just not convinced he's going to be stout enough in there. And again, Dwayne, for the people that say, well, the Buckeyes did it last year with a couple of three techs, that was a different situation, was it not?
It was, well, as you mentioned, we're talking about, you can put a couple of three techniques in there. When they're NFL caliber players, we know Bennett, well, everyone's wondering how Bennett fell as far as he did. And Adolphus Washington could be a first rounder, definitely a second rounder. He's the better of the two. If you got two of them in there, then you can one gap this thing and attack it, even though it's better to have a guy that in there that can absorb. But I'm not even sure Tommy Schutt can do that. I'm not sold on this guy. So, and now he's entering his senior year. It's not like, we're jumping on a player that's too young and we're not giving him time. He's had time. He should have been in there to help last year. Larry Johnson would have loved to have had more of a rotation, but he couldn't do it because he didn't have the guys. And now we're, what was it, about 3/4 of the way through spring, the coaches come out and say, well, Tommy Schutt is ready to step into the role. And immediately I'm getting feedback from contacts. What? Are you kidding me? No, it was coach speak. And we need a guy that can do it, and I hope it's Schutt. He's been a solid citizen. Come in there and have a great senior year. I'd love to see it happen, but right now I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I'm with you. Moving on, Dwayne, the Cardale Jones, Joakim Noah saga continues. Cardale fired off 3 tweets last night during Game 5 of the Cavs Bulls series, and, I find some of this stuff funny. I know you do too. We both think, and I'm a Bulls fan. I think Joakim Noah is a clown, and I love Cardale. But I wonder how Urban Meyer feels about this stuff. Urban's not a guy that finds this stuff humorous, in my opinion, and I don't want to see Cardale do anything that's going to hurt his chances. But for the listeners that missed it last night, Cardale tweeted out 3 different tweets. The first one was, great pass at Joakim Noah. So he tagged Noah and making fun of Noah, and he had the emojis where you're crying so hard you're laughing. The next tweet said, get up, chump. Apparently Noah fell down and was laying on the ground, and Cardale didn't like that. And then I guess Cardale was getting some feedback from readers, so he tweeted, quote, ain't nobody hating on Noah. I just don't like the bum. So again, I find this funny. He's saying, I'm not hating him. I just don't like the bum. I mean, again, you and I think this is funny, and we'd probably laugh about it for an hour, but does Urban find this funny? The answer is no. So could this hurt Cardale's chances to be the starter? I don't think so, but it's not helping his cause. What do you think Urban thinks about all this, Dwayne? You think Urban doesn't really care? Or do you think he's like, you got to knock it off?
I think he would rather he knock it off. I don't think it's going to impact him at the current level where it is right now. I don't think it's going to impact his ability to his opportunity to be the starter. No, I don't. I think if he is the starter, and I believe that as we get closer to the season, when the season starts, well, obviously the NBA will be over, and hopefully this will be over. Well, actually, I don't care if it's over. But when the season starts, yeah. He needs to have this over with, and I'm sure that Meyer's going to go to him and say, okay, Cardale, time for business. You need to be focused. Other than football, it is books, and that's it. You need to get off social media and stop arguing with this fool, and let's get down to business. Right now, I think he's going to be more tolerant of it and think, okay, when the NBA finals are over, this will be over, and we can get back to business. He's probably not going to be concerned with it, even though he would rather he wasn't dealing with it.
As long as Zach Smith is not the one to come to Cardale and tell him he has to tone his game down on Twitter, I'm fine with it. It has to be one of the other coaches, because Zach Smith is just as immature on Twitter as some of the players are, Dwayne. Have you followed Zach Smith at all? I mean, some of this stuff's funny, but they'll lose Jarek Warrantano, and he'll talk about how people are afraid of competition, or they lost a wide receiver a few years ago, James Quick, I believe it was, to Louisville, and he fired off all these tweets about how Louisville hasn't had any good wide receivers in the NFL. Look at all the NFL wide receivers that Ohio State's had, and I get that. That's like what fans are thinking, but you're a coach. You probably shouldn't be putting that stuff out there on Twitter. So in Cardale's defense, he sees people on the coaching staff being immature on Twitter, so I give him a little leeway there. Okay, last topic real quick. I want to get your thoughts on this. Bobby Bowden, apparently, I didn't hear this live. Bobby Bowden appeared on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday. I didn't hear it live because I never listened to the Paul Feinbaum show. But former Florida State head coach Bobby Bowden appeared on the Paul Feinbaum show. Legendary head coach Bobby Bowden. He was asked about Jameis Winston. Now, apparently Feinbaum kept asking him about it and kind of led him into it. But here's the quote from Bobby Bowden that is going viral in case our listeners haven't heard it. Bobby Bowden on Jameis Winston, quote, I think it's a consensus among Florida State fans and boosters that Jameis was an embarrassment to the university. I'm going to read that one more time. Quote, I think it's a consensus among Florida State fans and boosters that Jameis was an embarrassment to the university. Wow. This would be like Jim Tressel coming out and saying something disparaging about a current player at Ohio State, like Cardale Jones, if something happens. Of course, Tressel recruited Cardale Jones. That'd be a stretch, and Tressel would never do that anyway. But wow, Bobby Bowden coming out and saying it's a consensus among everybody at Florida State, basically, that Jameis was an embarrassment to the university. Wow, Dwayne.
It is wow. I mean, how does that kid feel today? Maybe what I would say is, why didn't somebody say that to him while he was at Florida State? Maybe it would have helped. This kid, he was an embarrassment to college football. All the stuff he did, he's got 2 different women accusing him of rape. He's stealing. He's, that thing at the student union where he stands up and says something obscene in front of the whole student body. The guy's ridiculous. He really is. Other than his football talent, what redeeming value is there in Jameis Winston? None. He's an idiot, and he keeps doing dumb stuff. I don't remember some actor or rapper, somebody was talking to him and told him, stop doing dumb stuff. He continues to just be a guy that does not make good decisions. I don't know if we can actually say he's a bad guy because he's so young, especially after the Tom Brady thing with the deflating footballs. He's too old for that. He shouldn't be getting involved in things like that. Jameis Winston has youth to, as an excuse, because we all did dumb stuff when we were young, but he is an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment definitely to the school, and I think to college football. He was just, and he kept doing stuff, Dave. That's you do one thing, that's okay. We can get over that, but he just kept doing stuff that was going to bring the school and college football into embarrassing headlines.
He was backed by popular demand. He is the one and only Dwayne Long, sharing his wisdom as always. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. And thank you to the listeners out there. I hope you guys have a great day. Take it away, best damn band in the land.